Chag Sameach. This is a Dvar Torah both on Simchat Torah, Sukkot, and on Haberachah. Endings can be happy or sad occasions, depending on what is concluding. The end of an event or phenomenon can be the happiest or saddest moments of life. Each year, this week, commemorates the end of the Torah, and it is both the happiest and saddest of moments. On the one hand, we mark the end of Moshe's life, a truly sad event in Jewish history, while on the other hand, we mark the conclusion of the annual Torah reading cycle, a truly happy event. Both events teach us an important lesson about the love of God. That's what I'd like to do in this Dvar Torah. Our Torah portion ends with Moshe's passing. It says that Moshe was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were undimmed and his vigor unabated. Never again did there arise in Israel a prophet like Moshe, whom God singled out face to face. Moshe was the greatest servant of God, and his love of God was unmatched. His demise was the end of an era for the Jewish people. We read of Moshe's death on one of the happiest days of the Jewish calendar, Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah. The Ramah wrote about this day, and he said, it's customary in these countries to take all of the Torahs out of the Ark, out of the Aron Kodesh on Simchat Torah at night and in the morning, and to sing songs and praises. Every place should follow its own customs. It's also the custom to circle the synagogue's bima with the Torah scrolls, just like we circle with the lulav on Hoshana Rabbah. And this is all done out of joy. The joy we celebrate on Simchat Torah is reminiscent of the joy in the Beit HaMikdash at the same time of the year. The Rambam wrote that even though it was a mitzvah to rejoice on all the festivals, there was an additional celebration in the temple on the festival of Sukkot. As it states in the Torah, you shall rejoice before God for 7 days. Now, what was done? The celebration would begin on the night after the first day of the festival, meaning on the night of Motzi, Yom Tov Rishon. Similarly, on each day of Chol Moed, after offering the daily afternoon sacrifice towards the end of the day, they would begin to celebrate for the rest of the day and throughout the night. The happiness which a person should rejoice in the fulfillment of the mitzvot and the love of God who commanded them is a great service, a avodah dolah. It is interesting to note that the joy of these days is a form of loving God, of ahavat Hashem. Now, one who serves God out of love and occupies himself in the Torah and the mitzvot and walks in the path of wisdom for no ulterior motive, not because of fear that evil will occur, nor in order to acquire benefit. Rather, he does what is true because it's true, and ultimately good will come because of it. This is a very high level which is not merited by every wise man. But when a man will love God in the proper manner, he will immediately perform all the mitzvot motivated by love. Rambam put a great deal of emphasis on motivation as a factor in determining one's love of God. From the Rambam's words, if someone was motivated by honor or fear to serve God, their love of God is on a lower level. But if their service of God was motivated by an awareness that the best thing for them to do was to serve God, they love God on the highest of levels. The joy of Simchat Torah is a different form of love of God. It isn't measured by motivation, but by the setting aside of personal concerns and dedicating oneself to God. This love of God is measured by commitment and dedication, like joy, exactly the love of God that Moshe showed throughout his life. What an important lesson. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach.